The baby stopped breathing on the side of 8 Mile, and when the Hell's Angel swept his finger through the infant's mouth, what came out made his stomach drop, the critical elements that should never be found with a baby. How did this happen? Who put the baby through all of this? Would the baby be able to make after what we just found? Well, let's get in. The Harley's engine was a scream that drowned out everything. The past, the dead, the goddamn guilt that lived in Pierce Dalton's chest like a tumor. 70 miles an hour down 8 Mile, the November wind cutting through his leather, and for 3 beautiful seconds, he almost felt clean. Then he saw the yellow dress. It was a flash of pale sunshine in the dying light, standing in the weeds near a rusted-out Pontiac. Pierce's hands jerked. The bike wobbled. His heart stopped. Sarah, 20 years collapsed into a single breath. His daughter, 5 years old. That Easter morning, the yellow dress bright as a promise. He should have kept riding. He knew better. Ghosts couldn't be saved, but his hands were already on the brakes. The Harley shuddered to a stop, kicking up gravel and diesel smoke. Pierce killed the engine. The silence hit like a fist. That's when he heard it, a child's broken sobbing, and underneath, a wet, choking sound that made his blood freeze. The girl was 6, maybe 7, blonde hair tangled with dirt. And that dress, that fucking dress, pale yellow with white lace at the collar, now stained with roadside mud and something darker. She was holding a bundle wrapped in a blue blanket. The bundle wasn't moving right. Help him. Her voice cracked. Please, mister, help my baby brother. Pierce crossed the distance in 4 strides. The infant, couldn't be more than 8 months, was turning blue. His lips were purple. Choking. Pierce knew choking. He'd seen men die from less. What happened? Pierce's hands were already moving, tilting the baby's head, checking the airway. The girl's words came out in a flood. Daddy said, he said Bryce ate the candy, but it won't go down in... What candy? Pierce's fingers swept the baby's mouth. Nothing. But the kid was still gagging, still dying. Daddy hid it. He said, don't tell. He said. Pierce flipped the baby, delivered 2 sharp strikes between the shoulder blades. Once. Twice. On the 3rd hit, the infant convulsed and coughed up a small, saliva-soaked packet onto Pierce's palm. It was stamped with a blue scorpion. The world tilted. Pierce had seen that stamp before. Everyone in Detroit had. Vargas Cartel. High-grade synthetic heroin cut with fentanyl that dropped grown men in seconds. Street value? Maybe $2,000 for this single packet. But the real question was, what kind of sick bastard hides this shit in a baby's mouth? The answer hit him like a Louisville slugger to the skull. This wasn't an accident. This was a mule. A baby mule. Where's your daddy? Pierce's voice was gravel. He drove away. He said men were coming. He said await here. Tears carved clean lines through the dirt on her cheeks. Milana. This is Bryce. Pierce looked at the abandoned Pontiac. Driver's door open. Keys still in the ignition. A man didn't leave his kids on the side of 8 Mile unless he was running from something worse than the cops. Or someone. The cornfield across the road rustled. No wind. Pierce's spine went rigid. His eyes scanned the darkening tree line. There, a glint of chrome. A car hood catching the last of the sun. Watching. Waiting. Milana. Pierce said, his voice deadly calm. Can you hold your brother tight? She nodded, eyes wide. Then hold on to me. He scooped them both up, 60 pounds of terrified children and a death sentence wrapped in a blue blanket. The Harley roared to life, and Pierce twisted the throttle. Behind them, headlights flared in the corn. Folks, if you believe that a real man stands tallest when he stoops to help a child, tap that like button right now. Let's show the world that the code of the protector is still alive and well in this country. Let's get this story to 5,000 likes from Alana and Bryce. The fluorescent lights of Detroit Mercy's ER burned like interrogation lamps. Pierce stood over the gurney, one scarred hand gripping the rail while doctors worked on Bryce. The baby's chest rose and fell, steady now, oxygen mask strapped to his tiny face. Alive. For now. Sir, you need to step back. A nurse with kind eyes and tired hands tried to guide Pierce away. He didn't move. Sir, the police are here. They have questions about. I ain't leaving. 2 Detroit PD uniforms appeared in the doorway. Young guys. One hand on his belt, the other on his radio. They looked at Pierce's leather cut, the Hell's Angels patch on his back, and their jaws tightened. We need to talk about how you found these children, sir. Pierce's eyes never left the baby. Found him on 8 Mile. Daddy ran. That's the story. That's not much of a story. It's the only one you're getting. The cops exchanged glances. They didn't push. Not yet. Pierce knew why. They needed him cooperative, at least until they figured out what they were dealing with. He caught Milana watching from a chair in the corner, clutching a juice box the nurse gave her, her yellow dress replaced with hospital scrubs 2 sizes too big. She looked so damn small. That's when Pierce saw him. 3rd row of the waiting area. Dark suit, pressed sharp enough to cut glass. Snakeskin boots, the kind that cost more than most men made in a month. Clean shaven, gold watch catching the light. He wasn't reading the magazine in his lap. He was watching the pediatrics wing entrance. Watching them. Pierce's blood went cold. I need some air, he told the cops. He moved fast, circling through the vending machine alcove, taking the stairs to the parking garage. The man in the suit followed. Pierce heard the stairwell door open 2 flights down, the sharp click-click of snakeskin on concrete. Pierce waited in the shadows near a rusted Buick. When the man rounded the corner, Pierce's forearm was already across his throat, slamming him against a concrete pillar. The suit didn't fight. He smiled. Easy, hermano. I'm just the messenger. Message received. Now get gone. The smile widened. The father stole from us. The baby has the rest of the shipment inside the diaper bag. His voice was smooth, practiced. Give us the bag and the boy. You keep the girl. Everyone walks away. Pierce's grip tightened. The boy's in the ICU. We have doctors. Over my dead body. The man's eyes glittered. That could be arranged. Pierce's fist broke his jaw before the last word left his mouth. The crack echoed through the garage. The messenger crumpled, blood pooling on the oil-stained concrete. Pierce was already running back to the elevator. The cops couldn't protect them. The cartel had reach, money, lawyers, badges in their pockets. He burst through the ICU doors, scooped up Milana, grabbed the diaper bag, and ripped the monitors off Bryce's chest. Alarm screamed. Sir, you can't. Pierce was already gone. Behind him, tires squealed in the parking garage. The steel door of Pierce's garage slammed shut with a sound like a coffin closing. 3 deadbolts. 2 chain locks. He'd reinforced this place after his 3rd stint in county. Concrete walls, barred windows, enough firepower in the back room to hold off an army. Tonight, it felt like a tomb. Milana stood in the center of the workshop, still clutching Bryce, her bare feet black with road dirt. She hadn't spoken since they fled the hospital. The yellow dress hung off her thin frame, stained with sweat and fear and the dust of a childhood stolen too young. You hungry? Pierce's voice came out rougher than he meant. She shook her head. Bath then. Come on. He ran the water hot, testing it with his calloused hand until steam fogged the cracked mirror. Milana sat on the edge of the tub, watching him with eyes too old for her face. Pierce knelt beside her, feeling every one of his 47 years in his knees. "I need to wash your dress," he said. "I'll find you something else." She nodded, peeled it off. Underneath, she wore a stained undershirt and underwear with holes in them. Pierce's jaw clenched so hard his teeth ached. He wrapped her in a towel, set her in the tub, and walked to the sink holding that yellow dress like it might explode. The water ran brown at first. Dirt, blood, roadside grime. He scrubbed the fabric between his knuckles, watching the pale yellow emerge from the filth, and something inside him cracked. His hand stopped, trembled. Sarah, 20 years. He'd never washed her dress, never got the chance. The funeral home had done it, folded it, buried it with her. He'd spent 2 decades running from the memory, drowning it in chrome and gasoline and the roar of a V-twin engine. "I missed you, baby girl," he whispered to the empty kitchen. His voice broke. "I won't fail this time. I swear to God I won't." Behind him, Bryce whimpered. Pierce dried his face on his sleeve, turned back to the kids. Milana was out of the bath now, wrapped in his old flannel shirt. Pierce lifted Bryce, checking him over. The baby needed a fresh diaper. Pierce grabbed the blue blanket from the diaper bag, and that's when he felt it. The lining was too thick. His fingers found the stitching. Amateur work. Recent. He tore it open. 12 packets fell onto the table, all stamped with blue scorpions. Pierce's stomach dropped. 50 grand. Easy. Maybe more. Slick hadn't just stolen from the cartel. He'd turned his own children into walking corpses, living decoys while the motion sensor outside beeped. Pierce's head snapped up. 3 cars. Headlights off, rolling up the gravel drive in perfect formation. "I want to know where my sheepdogs are watching from tonight. Go down to the comments and tell me your city and state. Are you holding the line in Texas? Are you watching from the hills of Tennessee? Let me know where you're listening from. Let's see how far this Brotherhood stretches across our great map." Pierce swept Milana and Bryce into his arms. Basement. Now, the safe room was a concrete pit he'd poured himself after his first run-in with the feds. 6 feet deep, steel hatch, ventilation pipe hidden in the crawl space. He lowered the kids down, Milana's terrified eyes locked on his face. "You stay quiet, darling. No matter what you hear. Understand?" She nodded. He sealed the hatch, kicked a workbench over it, then grabbed the Remington 870 from the gun safe. Outside, car doors opened. No voices, just the crunch of boots on gravel. Professional, military precision. Pierce counted shadows through the window blinds. 6, maybe 7, all carrying. His phone buzzed. Club president. Pierce answered. "Piston, we got word you hit cartel in a hospital parking garage. What the hell are you?" "I'm out, Prez." Pierce's voice was flat. "I'm bringing heat to the club. Consider this me handing him my patch. I'm fighting this alone." Silence. Then, brother. Pierce hung up, turned the phone off. If he died tonight, the club stayed clean. The first Molotov cocktail came through the front window. Glass shattered. Fire spread across the oil-stained floor like a living thing, hungry and orange. Smoke filled the workshop. Pierce dropped low, moving through the haze toward the side door. A figure stepped through. Tactical vest. Arminus Pietsputzmit. Pierce fired. The shotgun roared. The man went down. 2 more rushed the back entrance. Pierce racked the pump, fired, racked, fired. 1 dropped. The other got a shot off. The bullet punched through Pierce's shoulder, spinning him against the wall. Hot blood soaked his shirt. He kept moving. Had to. The kids were 10 feet below, and these bastards would dig until they found them. Another hitman came through the smoke. Pierce swung the shotgun like a club, connected with the man's jaw, then finished him with the butt to the temple. his vision blurred, blood loss. The room tilted. For left, maybe 5. Pierce stumbled into the hallway leading to the workbench, to the hatch, and planted himself. His legs shook. The shotgun felt like it weighed 100 pounds. They came all at once. Pierce fired until the gun clicked empty. Then he pulled his knife. A man tackled him. They hit the ground. Pierce felt ribs crack. Tasted copper. His knife found flesh, but there were too many hands, too many boots. This was it. The end. Then the earth trembled. The sound was unmistakable. 50 V-twin engines, all throttling in unison like the voice of God made metal. The walls shook. The windows rattled. The Hell's Angels hadn't accepted his resignation. The front wall exploded inward. The Detroit PD arrived to find 7 cartel hitmen zip-tied and stacked like cordwood in Pierce's driveway. The drugs sat in evidence bags on the hood of a squad car. 2 days later, they found Slick in a drainage ditch off I-94, bullet in the back of his head. The cartel always cleaned up loose ends. The custody hearing came 3 weeks later. Pierce sat in the back of the courtroom, shoulders still bandaged, stitches still fresh. The state's attorney argued he was too dangerous. Criminal record, gang affiliation, history of violence. The judge looked skeptical. Then Pierce stood. He pulled a photo from his wallet. Faded. Creased. A little girl in a yellow dress, smiling at the camera. Your Honor, this is Sarah, my daughter. I lost her 20 years ago because I was too busy being an outlaw to watch the road. His voice cracked. I ain't an outlaw anymore. I'm a protector. That little girl in the back row, she brought me back to life. Milana waved at him, clutching her new stuffed bear. The judge granted guardianship. 6 months later, Pierce rolled down Woodward Avenue on a Sunday morning. The sun was high. The air smelled like freedom and diesel. Milana sat behind him, arms wrapped around his waist, wearing a brand new yellow dress and a miniature leather vest he'd had custom-made. On the back, stitched in silver thread, Milana Dandelion Dalton, protected by piston. Her laughter rang out as he revved the engine. And for the first time in 20 years, Pierce Dalton smiled. The little girl who'd been choking on poison in the weeds was now holding on tight, riding toward home. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. We tell stories like this every week. Stories about grit, redemption, and the good guys winning for a change. If you want a seat at this fire and you want to hear the next one, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Join the pack. We've got a spot saved right here for you. Until next time, keep your head on a swivel and your heart open.